Welcome back to the movie recap. Today's movie will be a 2011 epic historical drama film titled The Eagle. So sit back, relax and enjoy the video. The movie begins where in 120 AD, the 9th Legion of the Roman army marched into the unconquered territory of northern Britain. They were never seen again. All 5,000 men vanished, together with their treasured standard. Shamed by this significant loss, Emperor Hadrian ordered the construction of a giant wall to permanently cut off the north of Britain. Hadrian's wall marked the end of the known world. 20 years later, the Romans occupied southern Britain. A new ruler comes to the wall, and he is a young talented fatherless man named Marcus Flavius Aquila. He is a fourth cohort of Gauls, 2nd Legion. Marcus meets the senior acting officer Latorius Drusillus Salinator, who has worked in the wall for many years. The two get along quite quickly for their own goal, fully occupying Britain. After Latorius tours Marcus in the base, he introduces him to the army as their new boss. When the introductions are done, Marcus prepares his things, unpacking his armors and the most precious thing he possesses, a small angel accessory that his father gave to him the last time he was with him. The other men chatter about Marcus, and they firmly believe that he will be a bad omen, like his father, who lost the Eagle in the 9th Legion, and 5,000 men alongside him. He's nothing but a fatherless soldier who tries to revive his family's reputation after his father stained it. The following day, Marcus commands his men to continuously work on the wall, improving its mud and making it more resilient. When he eats with his officers, Marcus orders to send a patrol to get some grains that haven't arrived yet. The officer refuses at first, but Marcus insists that the mine needs to eat too, so the officer leaves no choice but to submit to his commander. Marcus seems bothered all night long. He wakes up in the middle of the night and watches out the wall. When Latorius stands behind him, he confesses that he hears noises throughout, which keeps him awake and anxious for their safety. Marcus orders again to wake all the soldiers up silently, better to be angry than dead. Latorius awakens all the soldiers one by one, and when they prepare for the battle before the night ends, Marcus is right. An enemy jumps up to the wall and starts to attack them. To their surprise, many enemies are waiting for them on the other side of the wall. The Romans courageously fight their enemies to the death, and even Marcus fights with all his heart. Then, he grabs a torch and throws it into the pit, which burns many enemies trying to get across their wall. The Romans win. The following day, plenty of dead bodies are lying on the ground. Still, Marcus prioritizes his men who lost their lives. Despite all the affirmations that Marcus receives from his army, he seems to hear nothing, not until one of the soldiers shouts his name to warn that a massive amount of Britons are coming at them, holding captive the patrols he sent the day before. Marcus immediately sees this and prepares himself to get into another battle. Even Latorius isn't able to stop him. With all the Roman soldiers gathered around, they stood their ground and put forward their shining, shimmering human-sized shields. The Roman army could go after the Britons and attack them. With all the energy left in their bodies, they kill the Britons even if they are outnumbered. They are able to protect the captive soldiers and free them. When Marcus thinks they are done, the leader approaches while sitting on his carriage, but Marcus gives the last chance with his arrow and shoots the carriage, which blows up. Unfortunately, Marcus gets most of the damages since the carriage wrecks at the top of him. While vividly remembering the memories that his father left him, Marcus tries to resist the pain he's been experiencing. Finally, he wakes up in the middle of nowhere Britain, at Calleva, where his paternal uncle Aquila is there to take care of him. Marcus is full of wounds on his body, especially on his leg, which is incredibly torn. Uncle Aquila explains how he gets there, and he's been transported after the doctors in southern Britain couldn't give him what he needs. Latorius visits Marcus after such a long time and greets his commander with excitement and a report. Marcus receives the Gilded Laurel Award, a military armilla for conspicuous gallantry, and an honorable discharge because of his wounds. However, after hearing what Latorius said, Marcus is slowly tearing apart. The news isn't sinking into his mind. Even after many days, he's still heartbroken, crying every night. Slowly accepting his faith, Uncle Aquila and Stephanos bring Marcus into a gladiator's deadly fight to entertain him. A young slave man fights against the giant, barbaric gladiator during the battle. Uncle Aquila disagrees with this affair, and it's unfair and inhumane. But since the slave spares his own life, the gladiator is ready to put the sword on his chest when Marcus stops it and saves the man's life. When they get home, Uncle Aquila buys the slave and gives it to Marcus, who refuses to accept it at first. The slave's name is Eska, a Briton from Brigantes. Eska hates how Marcus saved his life, and it shouldn't be like that because Marcus is a Roman, and he's a Briton. But, despite his despair, he submits his life to Marcus and promises to protect him at all costs. Uncle Aquila brings Marcus to another physician who operates on his leg again. After the operation, he slowly regains his strength and can do at least what an ordinary soldier can do. Marcus and Eska hunt pigs and ride a horse together after Marcus gets healed. One night after the horse riding, Marcus gets surprised by their visitors, 2 politicians and Uncle's old friends, Claudius Marcellus, esteemed legate of the 6th Legion, and Tribune Servius Placidus, a government staff. As the gentlemen eat their supper, the politicians cannot stop talking about what happened in the 9th, Marcus's father's mission. They talk about how cowardly and shameful Marcus' father brought to the Romans, which catches him off guard and pisses him off. Marcus walks out of the dinner table and breathes outside. When Uncle Aquila talks to him, he indecisively decides that he's going to the north of the wall and bringing back their reputation. At first, Uncle seems unimpressed until he realizes his nephew is serious about it. Marcus brings Eska with him, who he can be with and speaks the language. Uncle gets mad since Eska is unworthy of trust. He might kill Marcus once they get out of the Romans' territories, but Marcus openly accepts his fate. The following day they start their journey. The road seems endless, with lots of open fields and mountains along the way. They travel for weeks until they reach the gate to the north wall. The guards jokingly piss them off and warn them that no one comes back alive after entering those gates. The pair refuses and still resumes their journey. During their journey, they come across great woods with dead people hanging around the trees. Eska explains that the rogue warriors did that. The pair decides to rest in the same woods and discuss their lives. That's when Marcus learns about Eska's miserable life, wherein his father was a Cunnival, bearer of the blue war shield of the Brigantes, and lord of 500 spears. His father killed his mother to save him from Romans' tortures, and his father and 2 brothers died. He's a lonely orphan. When they reach out to the highlands in the morning, Eska and Marcus keep asking the local villages and villagers they pass by for directions and where to go. And while the 2 decide to rest in a nearby stream, rogue warriors look after them. Eska quickly recognizes their presence and warns Marcus until the rogue warriors attack them in a snap. The 2 versus 4 rogue warriors are pretty challenging and uneasy about capturing because of their speed. In the end, Eska and Marcus win. They resume their journey and ask multiple people since Marcus cannot understand and speak the language. He notices that Eska is fooling him and threatens to kill the villager they're talking to with Eska's pure fright for the man's life. He forces the villager where to go, and he says it. They are directed to go to the great woods behind snowy mountains. When the pair goes there, they see massive amounts of Roman army suits and weapons. While trying to comprehend their view, a man jumps onto Marcus, and they stop him and force him to make himself known. The man is commonly called Gurn. He's a Roman soldier who was able to survive the battle. However, his real name is Lucius Caius Metellus, 1st cohort of 9th Legion. When Marcus hears about this, he immediately lets him go, knowing that this man is with his father's army. Gurn talks about how he survived that day and found his life in the northern part of Britain. The Selgovi tribe adopted him and made him their own. There he found his wife and got 2 sons. Gurn also guides Eska and Marcus to where the battleground occurred, and he sadly reminisces the memories of that day. Gurn shows Marcus and Eska where the soldiers are being set as an offering to their gods and distorted every Roman's body. He explains how brutal the war was and the worst enemy, which the Romans fell when they battled against the painted warriors of Seal people. After moments of walking, Marcus asks Gurn where to find this tribe, and Gurn points out Eska. But, of course, he knows everything because he's a Briton. After that, Marcus gets mad at Eska for not telling him that he already knows what to do and where to go, but Eska explains that he won't help him since he's an enemy. So the 2 fight off until they get off their horses, and suddenly, groups of men stand in front of them. There are paints throughout their bodies and faces. It's the painted warriors of the Seal people tribe. Fortunately, the tribe didn't kill them both. Eska speaks to them in their local language, which Marcus cannot understand. The Seal prince asks Eska why he's hanging around with a Roman, but he replies that it's his slave, so it's the other way around. The tribe holds them captive and brings them to their village, showing off to the head villager. They look at Marcus with hate and disgust while they give Eska special treatment. While Eska is invited to the village's party, Marcus suffers from hunger and pain inside the prison-like house full of random people. The following day, while Marcus is busy scaling his fish, many women romanticize him until the seal prince notices it and almost kills him. Fortunately, Eska tries to explain what happened, and Marcus doesn't get killed. That same day, the village celebrates its young men becoming mighty soldiers. While doing the ritual, it's inevitable for them not to drink, and after the party, all the men knock out to sleep. Marcus sees the eagle on the head villager's hand, and when Eska frees him, they immediately go inside the cave and take it. Surprisingly, the head villager gets up early, so they get into a fight first before fleeing the village. Marcus kills the head villager and sees his father's ring in his hand, which makes him furious. After a while, all the seal villagers wake up and notice that their head villager is dead, and the two aren't there anymore. The seal prince commands everyone to go and look for Marcus and Eska. The pair keep on fleeing far from the tribe, though there are times that they need to rest because of Marcus' wounds on his leg, and one of the horses unexpectedly dies. Eska somehow still manages to carry Marcus until they get into the woods. They keep walking even if the seal tribe is already near them. They hide under the cave in the middle of the streaming river. They keep swimming in track of the river because the seal tribe is everywhere looking for them. Eska does everything for them to survive since Marcus is losing his energy and dying. After many days of hiding, Eska decides that he needs to go and look for the remaining horse they left in the woods. But Marcus insists on saving himself, giving the eagle to the Romans, proving that Marcus' father is not a coward. This is an emotional moment for both of them. Eska refuses to accept the eagle and promises that he will never abandon Marcus. They get tired of arguing, and Marcus frees Eska as his slave instead. He's now a freeman, so he can go and decide whatever he wants to do. However, Eska stays faithful as a friend and risks himself out to the woods. However, as minutes turn into hours, Marcus suddenly recognizes where he's been sitting. It's a lake. Then step by step, he hears that people are coming at him until he acknowledges the suit. It's from the Roman army. To his surprise, Eska comes back with the remaining and surviving Roman army from the 9th Legion, who ran away while battling. One of the officers reveals to Marcus that his father died during the war, which justifies that his father is not a coward. The seal warriors locate their whereabouts and slowly go under the cave. Still, the Romans also notice the seals and ask for Marcus' permission to attack the seal warriors, and that's what they do. Despite the old, rusting swords, suits, and shields, the Romans can still fight and redeem their stained reputation. These Romans who ran away now run forward to kill every seal people. But, in the end, they successfully win over the seal tribe. Before leaving the place, Marcus and the remaining living soldiers give honor and prayer to their dead soldiers. They are saddened to lose these brave warriors but happy to regain what they lost. The movie ends with Marcus and Eska returning to Rome, holding the eagle with their bare hands, and everyone looks at them with surprise. Then, finally, Marcus shows it to the politicians who mocked his father, Claudius, and Servius. They are flabbergasted by what's in front of them. Servius is seemingly shocked at how Marcus got it with the help of his slave, but nope, Marcus corrects him because Eska is no longer a slave, he's now his friend. Which shocks the people more. Then the pair walks out with smiles on their faces. Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.